Okay, so after assembling this and staring at it for a little while, I decided, why don't I just go ahead and scramble this? Scramble it and see about solving it. So this is going to be kind of an experiment. Haven't really looked too much at it and the potential techniques for solving. I can see obvious Skewb and master Skewb solves, and I know that inside there's a copy cube in here, a copy dyno, so to speak. So why don't we just go ahead and scramble and see about how I can navigate my way through solving this. That way you can see how I kind of approach a novel puzzle, and either I'll come up against a dead end, in which case I'll have to stop and try to work out the strategy on my own, or you can see how I just kind of work things out. So either way, we'll see what happens. But as you can see, as I'm turning this, by turning one Skewb portion here, I'm carrying this entire side with it. If I just move this side over here. So anyway, I did break in the movement a little bit, so it does move very well. And let's just go ahead and scramble. Scrambling it just like a normal master Skewb, and that's pretty much what this is. I'm just curious about how the center, the multi-center version or portion of this is gonna mess things up for me. So turn, turn. And I'm showing this just to show the movement of the puzzle. It's actually very good. This has not been lubricated at all. I haven't done any more retensioning since what you saw with the assembly. Okay. So you can see that as I'm scrambling it, the center, I don't know if the lighting is good enough to see that. Anyway, it's not really easy to visualize there. So here's some extra lighting, so you can see that the center is all messed up, all mixed up over here. So this is a multi-Skewb scramble. So you can see that there's a scramble within a scramble. Okay, so what kind of an approach shall we make with this? Well, let's make some observations here first. I hope I'm lighting up the centers pretty well. Something to notice right off the bat is I seem to think I'm going to have to hit these centers here first. Now the thing about a compy dyno puzzle is that the centers are relatively fixed, so that's going to be a fixed point. What I'm also noticing is, take a look at these edges here, these tiny little edges which correspond to these edges over here. You see a blue and orange, and right here there's blue, if you can see that, and orange. And I notice that every one of these, orange and green, I see green, and yellow rather, not orange but yellow. Blue and red, blue and red. So every one of these edges correlate with the outer corners, the corners of the center area here. Which means that as I scrambled this, I never separated these edges from this. So these collectively are really the same piece. These are the same piece here. This is attached to this, which is pretty much bandaged to this piece over here, which means I don't have to worry about solving these corner areas here, because as long as I solve these guys, that'll be fine. So now I know that there's a little bit of a restriction in the solve. In terms of the center, well, I think that just needs to be lined up with these guys as well. The trick is, I think, these edge pieces over here, and even after I solve this, how will the Skewb and master Skewb compare with this? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to first solve, I'm going to match up my centers. Well, since I know that the center is something that's supposed to be fixed, and these edge portions are going to be wildcards, what I'm going to do is I'm going to solve those first. I'm going to solve the compy portion in the center. So let me find green. Here's green. To move the edges, every time I move the Skewb part, I'm basically moving the top edge over here. So let's find it. Now the thing about a compy dyno solve and scramble, it's pretty limited. So somewhere along this plane exists this. So I'm going to turn this here, and as you can see, this green edge lined up with this green center. I've got this green over here. That's going to move based on this Skewb movement over here. Move this in and kersplat. So now this is it. And now the one over here, that's this guy over here. So this, I'm just literally shuttling it in. I'm not worrying about the corners here, the inner corners, just the inner edges. And now this should be right over here. So that was pretty straightforward, so that's in. And all I'm worried about is the center with these guys. I'm not worried about the corners because that's going to be moving with these. So now I just want to move the rest in. Now if I were to coordinate this like a dino solve, what I would do is once I get these in, I'm going to get these guys in over here as well. So here's a white and a white. So let me demonstrate what I'm doing by way of this. If I were to scramble this guy up here, just real quick, what I did is I put in the green side. And ignoring the centers, a dino compy type puzzle will have a center here. And I think we'll even have an edge. The edge doesn't move much, but it's just these corners that'll move. So if I were to get the green one in, basically I'll just do a quick solve here for the purposes of demonstration, move this out of the way, bat it in, move it in. So I have this here. The next step is, this is already solved, this is bonded to this piece. I move these guys in. So that's what I would do next, moving these guys in. So red and white, I look for the red and white, which is here. This is just positioning, nothing fancy about it. I'm just positioning the red and white in. White and orange, just going like this, and orange and yellow. And it's not hard to find in. So you can see that pretty quickly you can end up with these, and I'm ignoring the top here because it's bonded to, not bonded, but it's the same as these pieces. So now to place these guys in, that's like placing these. And I'm going to be moving it similarly. I'm going to move these as though they were dino cuts over here. And you can see I just placed those and it didn't mess up the bottom over here. So yellow, I need to find the yellow, it's right here, so I just simply go like kersplat, and now that's in. It's not going to mess anything up here. I'm going to go over to here, orange and orange, that's already in. White, I need to find a white. That's going to be pretty easily found over here, so I just go kersplat. And now that's in. So you can see all that's in over here. There's a red one that's here, and that's not hard to find. I just go kerplunk. So now these are all in, and these are all in. So a compy solve is actually easier than a dino solve, because in a dino solve, you'll end up with something like this. 2 in, take the one that's in and to the back, the one that's not, the one that's also rotated up, but is not in the proper place. I'm going to hold that to the left, grab the 2 that aren't in, and it's a quick solve. Down, down, up. Up, solve it fast and amaze your friends. But anyway, the dino solve is not too difficult. This was the compy solve, and this is the only thing that I wanted. So I just placed these, and I simply did these moves in order to put this, in order to put these ones in over here, and this automatically came up. So now that I have those in, what I want to do next is, I guess what I'm going to do, because these are only going to be solved once I put these in. So I think I'm done with those. I'm not even going to worry about that. The next sticky point is to match these centers with this outer center. So here's the green. Where's the green over here? Right here. Now my question is, can I do movements of shuttling these guys around without messing up these moves here? And my suspicion is if I do a down, down, up, up algorithm, it should be able to work. So I'm going to leave the dino portion and just do down, down, up, up. I'm going to move it like a skew. So take this to move it down to the green. I'm just going to go down, down, up, up. And lo and behold, it did move this in here without changing any of these. As a matter of fact, this is now in, which is good. This is in, which is good. This is in, this is not, this is not, and this is not. Uh-oh, do I have parity? I don't think so. The next step of a Skewb solve that I do is I put the corners in. Now that's usually not a problem, but the problem now is when I put the corners in, I'm going to end up potentially messing up my centers, because I'd have to move, say, this over here, and I'm going to mess this up. So how am I going to get out of this sticky point? Well, unlike with most Skewb solves, I can put any corner, any green corner in here, but I can't in this case. It's got to be the one that goes here, has to be green, yellow, and red. So here's green, here's a yellow, but that's an orange, and that's going to go here. Green, yellow, and red goes over here. So normally what I would do is I'd simply move it up like so. Now there's a way of twisting this correctly. All I have to do is move it like so, and then move it up, and it's in. But I've messed up my sides here. So I have to move it kind of like a super skew, so to speak, and coordinate the center. So what I want to do is I just want to move this up for now, but how am I going to do that without destroying this? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it out of the way, move this to coordinate with this piece, and then move it back up. So why don't I take this piece and move it out of the way like so. Boom. It didn't touch this center, it touched this, but we're going to move that back. I now have to coordinate this center area over here with this corner, because I need to make it to where moving this corner up here will move this back up to its proper place too. So I'm going to move this out of the way. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this skew portion here and move it down. Now I'm going to move this back. Move it back, which doesn't affect this, and now I'm going to move this up. By doing that, I've now coordinated it where this is brought up and now this is brought up. So this is in the proper place, I just have to rotate it. Rotating it shouldn't be a problem, I didn't mess this up either. I'm going to do the equivalent to RIDI, RD. I'm going to move it down, turn it, move it up, turn this back. So this is still fine, and now you can see that this is in. Coordinated with the green, coordinated with the yellow, and coordinated with the red. So that's the sticky point that I think would end up burdening me. Anyway, the next one, we can take this and move this up to here, since this is the orange one. And this is going to be the same thing. I can't just move it in here, I'll destroy this. So what I have to do first is move this out of the way. Now bring this Skewb move down, and I'll move this back. Upon doing that, it's now going to coordinate with this side here and move it up. This is brought back, this is brought where it needs to be. Now I've got these two corners here, fine, fine, and fine. So, okay, I think we got a ball game. So now this is where it's supposed to be, this is where it's supposed to be. I just have to rotate it. Now if they weren't where it's supposed to be, I've already shown the technique, and I would just continue to follow suit. To rotate this, I'm going to bring this down, rotate this, bring it up, rotate it back. It's not quite in place, so it's going to bring it down, rotate it, move it up, bring this back. This is now rotated correctly, and once again, I've not touched the centers here. Now finally this one, same thing. This is the same thing as RI, DI, RD. Same kind of thing. So now you can see the centers are in. This center is correctly placed. These corners are in, they're correctly placed, and I have not offset the main areas of my center compy area. Again, I'm not worried about these corner areas. I'm just worried about these edge areas and the center areas. All right, now that I've done that, I'm going to come across here and solve the rest of this. The way that I put it in is I take whatever on top and I need to move this down to here. Alternatively, I can look to see what's already in. This is in and this is in. So what I'm going to do is take this, move it down to here. When I do that, these two are going to flip-flop, but that's okay. So this is already in, put the one that's right across from it down. My prediction, my hope is that my down, down, up, up will not change any of these configurations. So down, down, up, up. Now, here's the telling portion. Nothing here was changed. This is all fine. This is good, and this is good. So now we just have to flip these guys in. This yellow will come down to this yellow, down, down, up, up. So this is okay here, and I just got to flip these two, and as this is not a super Skewb, I don't have to worry about orientation. Up. This portion is not a super Skewb. Okay, so this achieved the goal that I wanted. The centers, all the edges and the center portion of the compy centers is in. All these are in too. Now I just have to coordinate the corners. And this is strict Skewb solve. First off, I can't have two up and two down, so I want to rotate. If I rotate this counterclockwise, this will be out. If I rotate this counterclockwise, this will be in, so that's not what I want. I want to rotate this clockwise and this clockwise. If I do that, they'll both be out, and that's what I want because I want them coordinated. So I want a clockwards rotation, which means I'm going to do down, down, up, up in a counterclockwise way. I'm going to go down, down, up, up once, then once more, down, down, up, up, and that achieved my goal, and my goal was to get all of these down. So now I'm going to turn it this way because a clockwise rotation here and a clockwise rotation here will bring all of these up. If I want to do a clockwise rotation, I'm going to do a counterclockwise rotation. We'll rotate this up and we'll rotate this up. So I want to do a clockwise rotation twice to make that happen. If we were super skewb, I'd have to go the opposite way 4 times. So 1, 1, 1, 1, and once again 2, 2, 2, 2, and that would be my skewb solve. And here's what I've got. I've got every center portion that I want to be in, the center and the edges in. I've got all these corners in, and I've got the center in. So we've solved the compy portion, we've solved the skewb portion. So now I'm going to solve the super skewb, the master skewb portion, this portion, these guys. That move here is equivalent to this move here. Now, here's the question. Using the algorithms that I have with master skewb, will that mess up anything in the center? My suspicion is not, because understand all of these moves are doing a commutator and then undoing the commutator. So I'm going to put these little guys in first, just to see how this is going to work. The algorithm that I use with that is it'll move this to here, this to here, and this to here. Or alternatively, this to here, this to here, and this to here. So here's how we're going to do that. This is in, so this is correct. This wants to come over to here. So I'm going to do the algorithm to take this and move this here, this will move here, and this will move here. Now, is there a way to put 2 in at the same time? Well, blue and red. Is there a blue and red? There's this. So what if, do I have a way of taking this? Well, that's going to be kind of a tough call. Yeah, that's not going to work so good. What about orange and yellow? Orange is way down over here. All right, I don't want to get too ambitious here. Orange and yellow, let me see. Okay, so no, just for the sake of argument, we'll just do this. So the way this algorithm works is I'm going to take this slice here, bring it up, bring it down like this, and then go down, down, up. Then I'm going to take that slice, bring it back, and undo what I did by going down, up, up. Pretty simple to remember, and it did move this across here. Now notice as I'm doing that, I'm taking these and placing those as well. So this is in, this is in. Now if I wanted to work on these two, so that'll work, plus this, green and orange, will come over to here where it's supposed to be. So let's move this down over here, and then go down, down, up, and then slice it back, and go down, up, and up. This is placed right over here. This is, well, that's not where we want it, but that's okay. So now we've got these all in. The other blue one is this. This has to make it up to here somehow. So how are we going to coordinate that? Well, if I move this here, it'll happen, but it's going to knock this guy out, and I don't particularly want to do that. So I could. Now notice as I'm doing this, I'm not knocking anything else out. I'm just going to abandon the blue for now and see if there's something else. This red can come over to here. So this can come to here, this can come to here, and this can come to here. And that at least puts this in where the green is supposed to be. But if I wanted to put this in the right place, green and orange, yellow rather, no, orange, I would have to bring that here. So why don't I move this over here like so? That'll move this to here, this to here, and this to here. So let's give it a try. Move this up, down, down, up, bring it back, down, up, up. And now I very quickly put back in what I took out. I'm really liking the movement of this puzzle. So now this is in, this was placed in, so we made some good progress with that. So this doesn't belong here, so I'm just going to knock this over to here. I just have to remember to put it back. I'm going to do this twice so I can bring this red and yellow to here. See, this is red and yellow. So move this up, so that's deconstructing and reconstructing. So bring this down, or bring this up rather, down, down, up, bring this back, down, up, and up. Now one more, we'll shuttle this over to here, bring this down over here, down, down, up, flap it back, down, up, up. And of course we just bring this back down here. So now this is in, and this is good over here. Now this guy can come over to here. Let's see what we can coordinate. I don't want to knock this one out, so I have to see what I can deconstruct here. What doesn't belong? Well, unfortunately, all of these belong. Nope, except this one. This one doesn't. So I'm going to move this one over to here so that I can make with a pattern. This will come here, this will come here, and this will come here. So that's pretty good. Let me not get lost here. Yeah, this has to come here, so I like that. 1, 2. Okay, just had to be sure. All right, bring this down, then down, down, up, bring it up, down, up, up. And now having done that, I simply reconstruct this back. So I'm going to move this up, right here. So that way, if I keep doing this algorithm, this will eventually make it here by doing it twice, here and then here. So move it down, 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 up, move it back up, and down, up, up. Do it again, move it down, 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 up, move it back, down, up, up. And now I simply move this back in the proper configuration. Okay, this is in, this is in, this is in. I shouldn't have more than just a few more to go, and eventually you're just going to have 3 more to go, and that's where I think I'm at. I've got this one to go, this one to go, and this one to go. So I need to coordinate it to where they're opposite each other, or they're in, 2 are opposite and 1 is down here. So if I move this like thus, that's the coordination. Now because there is no parity at this point, it shouldn't be difficult to coordinate what goes where. Okay, so how can I easily move it so that they're across from each other? I can move these 2 so that these 2 are across from each other, but then I have to make sure that the other one that's out is in here, which is good. So this one belongs here. So all I got to do is move it so that it's in a configuration that's across, and one move, even without thinking so much about it, should do it. So now one move of this to here, this to here, and this to here should do it. So go down, 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 up, bring it back, down, up, up. And now we simply move this back to where it was, and it's done. So all these are in, all these are in. Now notice after doing that, the entire copy center is now solved. And it worked, so that's it. The center of this multi-skewb is solved after putting these in and after solving this. Now the only thing left is to solve these guys. And I don't think that solving these by the same mechanism as solving this will destroy this in any way. Still remains to be seen, but the algorithm that I use when I solve this is this goes to here, this goes to here, and this goes to here. These are equivalent, so this goes to here, this goes to here, and this goes to here. So it's a matter of just finding ways of making that work. So obviously if I take this and put it to here, this will go to here, and this will come up to here. But what if I move this to here? This yellow will come here, which we don't really care about. This yellow will come here, and this blue will come here. The way this is done is we move this up, then go down, down, up, move it down, and go down, up, up. That had the effect that we wanted, this had the effect that we wanted, and I just move this back. So that little test showed me it did not mess up this. So really, that's what I'm left with. I'm left with just doing a master Skewb solve. So I know that the solve is completely within my reach right now. This, oh well, this will go here, and this screen will go here. So better yet, why don't I do this? Why don't I turn this over to here, so that this green will come here, while this green goes here, and this goes over here. So move it up, down, down, up, down. Now what I really appreciate about this puzzle is that it doesn't pop. Nothing is more frustrating than struggling and struggling with the turning of the puzzle when all I want to do is an algorithm. Alright, so now this is in. And it's just a matter of keep going all the way around looking for opportunities. This will come here, this will come here, and this will come here. Now if I can coordinate more movement, that would be fine, but that's okay. Goes up, down, down, up, down, down, up, up. And I like the fact that I can move pretty fast with this puzzle too. All right, let's coordinate this with the red. This red is already spoken for. Nothing to do over there. Okay, this will come to here, this will come to here, and this will come up here. So I'll put the red in the right place, and I'll put the orange in the right place. So we go up, down, down, up, down, down, up, up. And we're getting there. Okay, red to red. Let's turn it this side. Orange to... Now let's move this guy over here. That's the same. Actually, if we move it twice, this orange will end up here, and this red will end up here, this blue will end up here. So we go up, down, down, up, down, down, up, up. Once more, and that's where the magic will happen. Up, down, down, up, down, down, up, up. All right, we are getting close, so close. But I know that it's not gonna mess things up, so I already have the scheme here. Well, let's see what we got. See what we can manipulate here. This to here, this to here, and this to here. That's pretty good. So bring this up, down, down, up, down, down, up, up. And we'll move this back. All right, now finally we have one whole side. And let's see what we've got here. Oh, I think this is probably a game-ending move here. Okay, if I do this twice, the puzzle is solved. That'll eventually bring it back here. So, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, up. And I promised you a game-ending move, and that's what this will be. So this will be up, down, down, up, and down, down, up, up. Turn this in, and it's done. So you've seen it go from a solved to rather a scramble to a solved position. This is all fine here, this is here. So really what we did is, in many ways, we did a couple corner turning solves in one. A dino solve, or actually a compy solve, a Skewb solve, then a master Skewb solve. So there it is. going from assembly to scramble to solve in one little series. So this, I would say, is probably the ultimate corner turning puzzle. Again, designed by Gregor Fenning, made by, or rather actually conceived by Brandon Enright, made by Gregor Fenning, and solved over here. So I highly recommend this puzzle if you have an opportunity to get it. If you enjoy doing Skewb solves, if you enjoy doing master Skewb solves and having a little bit of an extra noise in the middle. So once again, brilliant puzzle, and thanks for watching.